Amazing. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Muesli. Many people know me as Muzi Mabena, and I'm going to be your navigator. I don't think you still call me an MC or a host. When it comes to me, I'm just like your cousin in entertainment. I've been doing this for so long that I just want to walk this very incredible, exciting journey with you. And on behalf of Bathu, I want to officially welcome you to the Walk Your Journey series. Who is excited? Put your hands up. Like hands up, hands up, hands up. Yes, it is going to be amazing. It started in Johannesburg, and you know, all of the hustlers are there. So I'm surprised that our panelists made it to the next one, but they did indeed. Then they made their way all the way to Polokwane. Then they visited the mall, they visited each other's stores. But today is the grand finale, and they say the best for last, right? Yeah. So Durban, can you make some noise? Yes, man, it is going to be such a great day. So I'm pretty sure if you're here, you know exactly what is going on. But let me just give you a little bit more insight. Bathu and the amazing people who work there came up with this exciting initiative called Walk Your Journey. This is an opportunity not for you guys to find out about these entrepreneurs and be intimidated by what they've done, but just for you guys to be able to see that abantu abafana njengani in your businesses, they have been through so many different things, experience highs, experience lows, and it's something that you as entrepreneurs, as innovators, wait to see all of the exciting conversations that are going to be sparked here today. We have an exciting panel coming up a little bit later, and of course, a really dope talk from the CEO and founder of Bathu, Mr. Theo Baloyi. But before we get to him, I want to hear from you guys. Maybe I can just pick 2 or 3 people in the room. Anyone want to stand up, tell us their name, tell us what business they're representing, and maybe, hopefully, what they're trying to...
From just sourcing sneakers for adults, men and ladies, to also sourcing sneakers for kids, for teens too. So we have the Soul Searcher Mini, which is a division of the Soul Searcher. So now we spot sneakers for teenagers, for kids, for toddlers, and for adults. So yeah, that's
amazing. Thank you so much. Really much appreciated. I won't lie, that was just perfectly aligned. I swear I didn't pick him, but it just leads so perfectly into the first talk that we have today. He used a lot of words like pivoting, scaling. These are all things that we as young and aspiring entrepreneurs are so interested in, and something that we all want to achieve. And I don't think in this country anybody has done it in the sneaker business quite like this man here. When I grew up, he deserves our respect. Him and his team are responsible for putting this all together. So can I please say he is the founder and CEO of Bathu, a man that we can all learn something from.
Thank you. The ability to move the needle forward. Interesting fact. And when the team sat down in 2020 and we came up with this Walk Your Journey series, communities. We have Galaxy and we have Bathu and the likes. We need about us and current state of affairs and challenges. I want to thank you. Talk about it, or laugh about it, and we can actually move the country forward. Right? This states a national matter that we can to make sure that we reduce that number and we build sustainable businesses. Share that come from the communities that we come from. And we are relatable in our mission, because our mission and vision, trust me, it's not a mission that just exists for PR purposes. It exists as we trade and as we run our business. You know? Because we carry our mission and make sure that we're a business that is of service to our customers and to our people. And that is why for us, it's always purpose and people beyond profit in everything else that we do. Because we are a shoe brand with a soul. 7 international companies leaving the country. We are a shoe brand with a soul. 7 international companies leaving the country. We see so many business closings that are doing a business that can be sustainable with us or our businesses that are far beyond, our circumstances. And that is And that is why leadership is so important. Right? That is why at national level as well. And I believe impact, you need to clearly define your strategy. Strategy is very important. And guys, forget the business school term, don't get confused. Strategy is very simple. And how you define strategy. It's a plan of action towards your goal. I always say this, that you need a strategy defining your destination and how you're going to get to your destination. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of cool factor that is catching to the eye on social media. Forget all of that and define your strategy. If you want to get to Durban, Joburg to onto the N3, right? Right? And what that journey looks like. The number of toll gates, the number of kilometers, the number of the car that you're driving to get there, right? Don't listen to someone telling you that said the quickest way to get to Durban. That goes into informing that model before even trade, before we even transact, before we even make the first sale. There's so much work that goes into that. It is not just a shoe that is sitting on the shelves and someone comes and buys. It looks like that, but it's not just that. The value chain and the model is far bigger than that. We define a clear go-to-market plan. There's also a pricing and product strategy and model that goes into it. And irrespective of who does what, someone comes, maybe sells a shoe that is cheaper than ours or more affordable than ours or more expensive or more cool, we stick to what our plan says. Right? That is one thing that really drives strategy. Now, you need a great balance between hardware. You need a great balance between hardware and software. Because when you balance the two, you will be able to run a business that is sustainable, that even when the economy might be unfavorable and there might be industry challenges, when your hardware is strong and your software is strong, and then you've got an equilibrium between the two, your business will stand the test of time. Right? In everything else that you do. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people ask me, what is hardware, what is software? Simplifying it, your hardware is all your tangibles and key pillars of the business, and software is basically your systems and so forth. Software is basically your systems and so forth. Hardware could be your physical product, your extra infrastructure, your logistics, your tech infrastructure, and your software could be anything, your strategy, the people, the brand story, and so forth, right? You always need to balance between the two. And to further contextualize it, we all know the legendary Steve Jobs, right? How many people here in the room have Blackberries? Alcatel? Motorola? You see? Samsung? Huawei? Apple? You see what just happened? You know why that is? You know why when I mentioned Motorola today, there's no show of hands? And why I mentioned BlackBerry, there's no show of hands? It's because the legendary Steve Jobs came up with a strategy that made sure that even when he's no longer here, his business will forever live. Because what he did, he understood the balancing of hardware and software. Right? Balancing between hardware and software in his business. And it's hardware that is slick, that has a cool factor, that is appealing to the eye, and in terms of functionality, I just need one home button to control and to operate the hardware. But most importantly, over and above the cool factor, I need a software that can live in a cloud, that irrespective of what hardware you use, the only thing that you need is a username and a password. So that when you move from iPhone 6, you go to iPhone 7, you go to iPhone 10, An iPhone 12, the only thing that you need is your username and password, and all your data will be in the cloud. This thing of BlackBerry MMSing my pictures when I moved from 8520 to BlackBerry Bold. Now I need to MMS my pictures from the old phone to the next phone. And when someone is calling me, it's like, yeah, I'm going to ask if I'm changing phone, I'm 85 something, BlackBerry, I'll cut a what. It's not going to work. So I'm going to build a beautiful software that all your information, all your data is going to sit in the cloud. So that when you move from your phone to your iPad to your MacBook, right? All you need is just a username and a password. And you just need to update your software from iOS 7, I think now we're on 17, I don't know, 8, 17, 18, whatever, right? And you just update your software all the time. And that is the power of hardware and software across business. If you study a business closely, it also has its own hardware and software. Look, great respect, the legendary Steve Jobs. Is that amazing? I mean, I think he will go in the history books for the longest of time. Great respect, amazing inspiration to a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Like, look, he was a great legend and a legendary that we admire so much. But so was Theo Baloyi. Will get you recognized, but software will get you remembered. Between hardware and software. So what we do this generation, because we want to be cool, like we want to be known, we want to trend, we want the attention. When we build our businesses, we build them on hardware alone, because we want to be noticed. And then we forget about what? The software that runs the business. And that is why it's so important that in whatever business that you do, always corporatize it. Make sure that there's the right professionals that are running that business. Make sure that you've got the right systems. Because of that is one thing that will get you remembered. Right? It's very important to balance the two. That you don't only build a hardware because you want to be known or you want to see it. It's nice to see something that you built, for sure. Trust me. It's really nice to, walk anywhere or drive anywhere or get into rooms and see something that, you build in your body of work. But over and above that, software is equally important. Because when you have a great balance between the two, it will make sure that your business stands the test of time. It will make sure that you build a sustainable business that grows, right? Like a lot of times, obviously people will reference Bathu to me. But if I tell you that I'm just the face, basically. There's people who work hard at Bathu, great professionals that make sure that this business, is sustainable and it creates impact. There's a saying that says that if you want to build something great and something that can outlive you, you give it to people. There's no business in this world that was built by one man. There's no business that you can look at in the JSE, the London Stock Exchange, Silicon Valley and so forth, that was built by one man. By great people, and great people operate amazing software and system and processes, and that is why you have the great business that will outlive you, or you build a business that can outlive you. Third, what I believe in is balancing between your ambition versus reality. Because there's a lot of noise that exists out there. There's a lot of glory that we see and that we shop around from. There's a saying that says a lot of people like the idea of greatness, or like, greatness, but hate the idea of risk. Greatness looks good. Glory looks good. Winning looks good. Doing well looks good. Where you are, right? But that does not mean that you can't build something great. It does not mean that you can't have an ambition. You just need to balance the two. I wanted to, with the vision of a presence, right? And that has a great infrastructure. But the reality in 2015 was that I just quit my job. I had no citation or references or FICA documents or even 3-year financials for me to go to a mall and say, I want the store. There was no record of trade for Bathu there, so the reality was that there was no one who was going to give me that opportunity, right? At the time. That was my reality. But look, I had a car. So my car, I used it to do door-to-door deliveries, to build a track record, to execute my proof of concept. I started there. And as much as I had an ambition of building a retail infrastructure and a good brand, but I knew very well that with where I was, and then where the business was, I mean, I didn't even have a VAT registration at some point. You know? It was my reality. I had put in that body of work together. I wanted to start this business and scale it. But the accountant in me knew very well that if I took the concept and put it in a business plan and take it to the funders, because of I know how accountants think, right? They were going to look at this idea and then they were going to analyze it with my forecast and my budget and what I want to do and say, bro, but you want to start a sneaker brand when the market is so saturated, when you've got global players in the space, and you telling us that you want to start from Alex and you're going to build this brand and you're going to scale it, because the process of going to look for funding was going to be far greater and cause me more pain than the joy that I would get from executing my burning desire. Sometimes it's better just to execute it instead of you. Because along the way of seeking something, it's going to actually take too much of a toll on you than just starting. Sometimes, guys, it's better just to start, eh? Yeah. Because the energy of trying to talk to people and convince people and sell ideas and is going to hurt you. Sometimes. Sometimes you can win. Sometimes you're just causing yourself pain. That was the reality. So I decided to start. Fortunately for me, I had savings, I had a car, right? My ambition was to build a footwear brand, scale it, and probably, sell as many pairs as I can, but I had to put the two together to start. That was reality versus businesses. Some of them failed. We've got dreams. They don't seem like they're going to see a light of day and so forth. But I want to encourage everyone in the room by just putting in the work, right? And I want to leave you guys as I close with a quote that I put together, I think it was in 2020, that got me going during unfavorable times, during COVID. But I can only read this if you all agree that I say the first part, and you guys say the second part. You agree? Yes. Sure? Yeah. Okay, cool, let's go. It reads, they hate, they criticize.
It says questions there. We're going to do the questions later. Okay, starting. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please hear it one more time for Theo Baloyi? Absolutely amazing chat. Okay, I'm going to ask one question just to start it off, and while you guys just know he said a lot, so maybe you just have one thing that you want to zone into, or maybe you have like 5 things, but maybe just try to consolidate your thoughts, and then I want to hand it over to you. Theo, there's something that I really related to when you said great story and a great product. Those two things really do go hand in hand. But how do you make your own personal story, something that you believe in, something that can really resonate with the world? Because like you say, they hate, they criticize, they plot against.
Finance needs to be done. Logistics guy needs to do what the logistics needs to do. You know what I mean? I am not interested in what certificate of compliance our trucks needs to have to take stock from this store to the next store and what the routes look like, right? So I have released myself from so many tasks within the business, and I've let professionals to come in and to take care of that. And I think you only do that when the business gets to a certain level and your intuition will let you know that this is the right time to let go of this. Because sometimes